Let's take a top stories in crypto and break them down to bite-sized pieces. Today, just as the thumbnail and title suggests, we're going to take a look at how Kevin Leary from Shark Tank has been diversifying vastly into crypto. And it's an interesting thing where he talks about what he's invested into and just how he talks about the projects that he invests and why he's done it, why he says that even he doesn't know all the winners. So we'll take a look at what Kevin Leary talks about. Also, a story about Coinbase coming out with no fees, which I think is insane, but we'll see how that's going to work out for Coinbase. And lastly, we'll talk about Goldman Sachs, CITIBANK, and millennial crypto jobs. And we're going to actually have somebody in studio do a quick interview about what that all means. And at the very end, we'll do 5 questions in 5 minutes. So hold all your questions till the end. That will be fantastic. So before we go all that, we'll take a look at the market, do a quick little market recap. And just so you know, if you're here for the live stream, there will be timestamps underneath, so you can fast forward or go anywhere you want to, but everything's in a sequential manner. Also, news takes about 15 or 20 minutes, and then after that, we go to the Q&A, which takes about 5, and that's it. So let's jump in to the actual market. And I don't spend a ton of time on this because I think everybody knows what the market is, because guess what? We check our portfolios about 10 or 20 times, or sometimes even more per day. So what we've got today is pretty much a sideways action. Not really too much going on. It is a Sunday, nothing too great. I think everything kind of pops off as the market starts to open up on a Monday, which got a little bit of time for that. So we got Bitcoin right now down negative 0.5%, not too much. We've got Ethereum 0.6, nothing's really up. I think Terra continues its marvelous run at 1.4%, so good for Terra holders. Cardano up 2%, 81 cents, but boy, what a slide it has been since that all money days at $3. And that's pretty much no real big winners or losers, everything sideways, pretty much as boring as the traditional stock market. So what can you do? Kind of boring. That's what it is. So let's just jump into today's top story, which is all about Kevin O'Leary. And it's not that I care so much that Kevin O'Leary is out there talking about what he thinks crypto is good for. What I really care about is that the message that he brings to all the people that know Kevin O'Leary and don't trust crypto. They're like, well, I don't really know about this crypto thing because, you know, there's these illicit activities and all these problems. But Kevin O'Leary seems like a pretty good guy. He's on Shark Tank, and that's really the mentality right there. So when I saw this interview, I'm like, this is perfect. These are the things that people who aren't into crypto yet really will probably pay attention to. And before I play this, I know what you're probably thinking, which is, but Rob, isn't everybody in crypto? Because I'm in crypto and everybody that I know is in crypto. No, that's not how it works. Because look, you probably have surrounded yourself with a nice variety of people who may know a little bit about crypto. But in the grand scheme of things, and I saw this actually, I think it was CZ Binance tweeted this out. He said that only 3% of the world population is actually in crypto right now. So if you think everybody's in crypto, you have no idea just how early you actually are. So just take a listen to Kevin Leary talk about crypto. Maybe this will help out in the long run. So let me stop this. I'm going to share the actual tab itself so you can actually hear it. And let me mute me and just take a listen to this.
Millions of dollars, 20% of my portfolio is now in cryptocurrencies and blockchain.
Hey, Kevin, so I was on the phone yesterday with a sort of a big time crypto guy, and he was talking about how crypto was like the operating, multiple operating systems for telephone, for mobile telephones years ago. But it made me think maybe that means we're in the beginning of something, which is fabulous, but it also makes me think of Palm. Does everyone remember Palm? Or RIM, which is BlackBerry, or I mean, you could go down the list. iOS and Android didn't show up to the scene until a decade or two after the fact. And I only raise it because I wonder sort of where you think we are in all of this and whether it means that the Bitcoins and some of the coins that we're looking at now and talking about will be around or will be obsolete in a decade from now.
Well, you have to be diversified. I own 32 different positions, including equity in FTX itself. And I have to disclose, I'm a paid spokesperson for that company. I'm backing their initiatives. But the whole point is, you don't know who's going to win. Is Ethereum going to win? Is Solana going to win? Is it Helium or is it Avalanche? I own them all. And luckily, they're just software development teams. You go meet these people, you find out they're in their 20s, they're the smartest engineers in the world. If you graduate from MIT right now, you don't want to work for an old industrial company. You want to go to a blockchain company. So we should support this initiative and be the leader in policy, because right now the world is waiting. The Canadians are more advanced. They have the very first crypto exchange. They have the very first.
Right. So then Kevin goes on to some other rants and things like that. But this video actually was it was on March 11th, so it's a couple days old. So I know a lot of people have been talking about this already, and Kevin O'Leary was talking about. But why I wanted to bring it to your attention is something they said there that made a lot of sense, and you're going to see this play out more so as time goes on. And that is that when he talks about people are getting into crypto, they're getting out of the other industries and into crypto. You're going to see a story we're going to talk about in just a little bit about how that is going to start to happen at an accelerated pace. This is at Goldman Sachs. This is at CITIBANK. This is at a lot of people that are out there as far as like millennials. So this article or this video we just watched is going to play into some other things down the road for this video. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Let me take a look here. And let's move on to our next piece, which is the Coinbase no fees. And then we'll get into other stuff. So the Coinbase no fees, I didn't understand where they were going with this, because when I took a look at it, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would they go absolutely no fees? But now I get it. So Coinbase rolls out a test of fee-free trading. Trading fees have historically made up the bulk of Coinbase, and I think we all know that. If you're on Coinbase, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you've been paying through the nose. So here's what's happening. As Coinbase looks to distance itself from transaction-based revenue, which I think sounds odd, but it won't in a second. Hold on. The exchange has begun recruiting the first customers for Coinbase One, a subscription service that comes with $0 trading fees. Crazy. Perks of the subscription also include up to $1 million in account protection and 24/7 phone support. First of all, let me just ask you a quick question. If you've been trading on Coinbase, which is a multi-billion-dollar company, you would think you would get some phone support, especially with all the hacks that are going on out there. They don't care about you. Let's just be honest. So when they come up with like a subscription service where it's like you'll get 24/7 support, but these people won't. Why are they doing that? I'll tell you in a second. So on top of that, Coinbase One is currently in its beta launch. So this has only been rolled out to the select few, i.e. not you, sorry. And this is where it all comes down to. Because when I was thinking about it, I'm like, this makes no sense. They're making multi-billion in revenue. Why would they do that? Well, it comes down to this. This is from Alicia Haas, Chief Financial Officer of Coinbase. She says, the transaction revenue has historically been the lion's share of our revenue. We're taking steps to diversify this revenue and also to grow our non-transaction revenue streams. I think this is a pretty smart idea. If you're a business and you want to stay relevant in this industry, especially as DEXs start to really take hold, how do you do that? Well, you cut down on some fees that people don't like. And this is where it comes down to the crux of the article. Coinbase executives also braced shareholders for a quieter first quarter of 2022 on the earnings call, as they are expecting lower monthly transaction users and total trading volume in the first 3 months of the year. So now, hopefully you get kind of like why they're doing it. It's the same reason why gyms will charge such a low amount to go. I don't know where you're at. This is a place called Planet Fitness, and it charges $10 a month. And when they first came out with that $10 a month for gym fees, it was like, that's crazy because, I pay $50, $60 at my gym. Why would they pay $10? It's because they know that you're not going to come in. You're going to stay fat and lazy. You're going to be there January 1st, maybe hit the February, then you're out because it's just too much work. And I think that's the same thing with what Coinbase is doing. They're like, look, we know you're just going to trade a little bit and you're kind of going to get bored because you don't keep your eye on the ball. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to stop trading, but we're still going to charge you those transaction fees. You know what's great for us? For our shareholders, we can say, hey, good news. There was a lot of people trading because the market was sucking, but we get all these great subscription revenue from all these people, and it just kind of flows the boat. So that's, if people think like, oh, that's a crazy idea. It's a pretty smart idea. So tip of the hat to Coinbase. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And let's finish this up with a millennial interview, Citibank, and Goldman Sachs and what's going on. So if you hadn't heard, this was pretty interesting, I felt. This was, I said I'm going to have to dust off my resume because Goldman Sachs is hiring global markets, digital assets VP in New York, New York. So if you're looking for a new job, maybe you can apply to that. So real quick, before I go into the details of the job and what you may need to do, just know that I love these stories because it shows us the development and the progress that we made and the rails that we made as far as crypto. Because not more than roughly a year and a half ago, May 27, 2020, Goldman Sachs came out and said cryptos are not an asset class. And they had this nice, beautiful meeting with all their bunch of new shareholders. And they were talking about how they could diversify and help them. And one of the main things they said was, hey, we know you want to know about crypto, but you shouldn't because it's worthless and it's not an asset class. And here we are today, LinkedIn, Global Markets, Digital Assets, VP New York, 4 days ago. So if you're interested, here's the job summaries. Your job summary responsibilities are work as an integral member of the team with a primary focus on the timely execution of new activity in the digital asset space. Collaborate with stakeholders across the firm to understand their business and identify opportunities, sales, where digital assets can add value. Here's your qualifications, though. You got to know at least, or have been at least 6 years working with traditional FI, CFI, DeFi, tech, or in a strategy consulting type role. I'm sure that's a lot of people, actually. And then genuinely passionate about digital assets and actively participating on a personal basis, blockchain, crypto. So if you're looking to apply, I linked that in the description. Have fun working for Goldman Sachs. And then let's finish up real quick with this part. And again, this is what led me to the Kevin O'Leary video where he talks about how people are just leaving and they're getting and moving into out of these big corporations into smaller, more powerful plays such as crypto and digital assets. So Citibank's 2 digital assets leads exiting to launch a startup. Co-heads of Citigroup's digital assets group are leaving the bank less than a year after being put in charge of the new crypto-centered unit, which was launched in June 2021. Greg Girasole and Alex Creti announced separately on LinkedIn that they were leaving Citigroup to start a new venture. And Grisel says, after 7 years, I'm leaving Citi in order to start my own venture in the digital asset space. So just want to be clear, they're not leaving this to go to another bank to work in just traditional finance. They're digital asset stuff. It was at Citi where my passion for digital assets began, culminating the opportunity to lead the effort to bring the new asset class to their global wealth franchise, whatever. Then later, and then the next one was Kriti said, after 11 years at Citi, imagine that, over a decade, I decided to take on a new challenge and we're leaving the firm. Over 5 years ago, my personal interest and subsequent writing about blockchain-enabled digital assets, yes, crypto, led to an amazing network of colleagues across Citi businesses, external companies, and interested clients. I got to tell you, if I was the hiring manager at Citi, I'd be pretty ticked off. Like, man, this is a big loser of a situation because I got these people. I thought they'd be here for a long time and really bring a lot of revenue to the company. And now they're going to go out there and start their own thing. And of course, you right now are probably thinking to yourself, well, duh, who wouldn't do that? But there's risks involved. That's true. But there's no greater time, I think. And this is not this is not job advice or professional advice. This is just an opinion. But this will be the time to take some pretty big plays if you really think about it. Because where else are you going to get this asymmetrical return? Where else can you do this? And is it that mindset to stick yourself in a corporation and just kind of hang out for 10, 20, 30 years, collect a pension and go? That's what I'm used to. I mean, that's what my generation was. So when I see stories like this, it just affirms what Kevin Leary was talking about. You're going to see a mass exodus of people moving into crypto, which leads me to my next point. We just did a video with individual here from Puerto Rico, and I'm going to play that interview right now. Let me pull it up. Unfortunately, let's see if I can do this right. Yeah. Stop screen. And let me mute myself. So take a listen. So yeah, so going back on that theme, what we talked.
Currency on my very old computer. And, you know, I had the opportunity to move down here and work full-time in cryptocurrency in Puerto Rico. And that's the way I see myself moving forward in life.
Yeah, and that was something that we were talking about, which I was surprised because, like, when you take a look at these things that are going on, like, what are the options for you guys? I mean, not to say you guys are totally screwed, but I think you guys are screwed because let's be honest, like in my generation, it was all about this. It was work hard, stick to yourself to a certain job path, and you'd be okay, and you can retire. You guys are not getting that. So how do you see it as a millennial? Because you're 27, 28.
So I'm 27.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, the first thing I did in order to become financially successful is I stopped eating avocado toast. Okay. And, you know, I started making coffee at home.
Yeah.
But the main things that we were taught growing up is 1, go to college, 2, get a job that gives you benefits, health insurance, everything.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, with inflation raising, 7.9%, I think it was last month, there is no way for me to get ahead at my job, no matter how hard I work. And so the main things I have to do is 1, move to cryptocurrency, put all my money into that, because why am I going to use a 401k?
I forgot to
That
upload
there's
that
no
to,
reason for me to do that.
up to the
Social
channel.
Security, most likely not when I retire. Cryptocurrency is going to be there, and it consistently beats inflation. And the only other thing we would have to do if I can't use cryptocurrency is I have to job hop every year or every 2 years and try and leverage one company's offer against another.
Yeah, because I mean, back in the day, it was just stick with the job. But now it seems like if you stick with the job, they still screw you because they go,
Generation's one that screwed everything up. I mean, there's plenty of articles out there. So
yeah, exactly. So then here comes our second one. So you already talked about how and why you got into crypto, which made a lot of sense. But as far as like viable investments outside of crypto, do you have anything else that you get into? Because we did a lot of real estate. This was years ago.
Mhm.
Right now, I don't see it as a big thing because it's so expensive. But like, how about like stocks, S&P 500, stuff like that?
yeah, so when I first moved to Puerto Rico, I was mainly trading the stock market, and so mainly call, put options on the S&P 500, and that was decently easy to do. I could make a daily goal within 5-10 minutes of the market opening. But when I'm looking at cryptocurrency, all that money I put into the stock market, if I had just simply parked that into cryptocurrency, didn't work a single minute for the last year, I would have made more money. And so the main thing I do with the stock market is I'm trying to be diversified. So gold, silver, cryptocurrency, and most of the stocks I hold and actually try and actively trade relate to cryptocurrency. So Voyager is one of my favorite ones.
So again, people out there who are like the big gold bugs and hate this channel, I get it. But why don't you just come over with us? We're trying to do the same exact thing. Gold, silver, Bitcoin seems like a pretty good, that's like the new savings account in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that will lead me to my next one. You just talked about the puts and the options and trading like that. How do you do it? I mean, DCA, trading, leverage.
Yeah, when it comes to cryptocurrency, dollar cost averaging is my favorite method of getting into cryptocurrency. I do try and look at multiple different coins because I don't want to have, as they say, all your eggs in one basket.
Sure.
I still believe Bitcoin is king, but I also believe that there are smaller cryptocurrencies that I can put money into and I can make more money faster. For example, Cardano. It's easy for Cardano to go from $1 to $2 than it is for Bitcoin to go from 40 to 80,000.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, but of course, people pay Cardano like, well, it's way easier for Cardano to go to 80 cents to 0 cents, but well, of course, we get that, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really just kind of a mixed bag because I try and learn from multiple other people. I spend most of my day online, reading news articles, everything like that. I'm not going to hit, 100% on everything.
Sure.
But, some of these smaller projects that I look at, like Door or NIL, or, some of these very small projects that are trying to get a ton of traction on there.
Divvy.
All I need is one to hit.
Divvy.
Yep. Or Divvy. Yeah, Divvy. I mean, the official cryptocurrency of La Liga. Like, all I need is one of these coins to hit. And, I've achieved financial freedom. And that would, it can literally happen overnight. Cryptocurrency allows me to do that compared to, working 10, 15 years at a job.
Max, all you got to do is just put in your savings account, get that 0.15% interest, and you're good to go in 1,000 years.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, thank you, Voyager.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my new savings account.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'm waiting for that debit card, Steve. So if you can ever just, make that a little quicker, it'd be great. And then lastly, how's the channel going? You got a YouTube channel. I know that's the new thing. So how we looking at it?
Yeah, so my YouTube channel, Traders in the Zone, what I try and do is just interview the average people in cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. Because look, not all of us are going to be multimillionaires. That's one of the hardest things to do. But there are plenty of people here in Puerto Rico that actually trade cryptocurrency full time. They make a living off cryptocurrency, either working in the industry, on projects, or by buying and holding coins. And what I want to do is just simply interview those people and ask them, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Because yesterday I interviewed a musician friend of mine. And so he's a singer-songwriter here in Puerto Rico, but he got into cryptocurrency in 2020. And so I interviewed him asking, how has cryptocurrency affected your life? Because it's very hard. People really don't know where to get started. And he already has a successful career, but cryptocurrency is simply taking his financial freedom to the next level. And that's the main thing I want to do. I just want to ask people, how do you do it?
Yeah. So to check out Max's channel, I'll link that in the description. But that is it. Just want to get a little insight into the younger generation's investment strategy. So Max, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Rob. And I'll make sure I'll send you some avocado toast, okay?
Sounds good. All right, let's jump back. Great. Thanks, Mac, for coming on. And sorry about the audio. There was a little bit of a glitch. Hey, I think one of those things where it's Puerto Rico and a little bit of the Wi-Fi connection sometime get a little bit crazy. But hey, I think we got to it. So look, that concludes today for the news and what is going on. Pretty good. Made it around 21, 22 minutes, somewhere around there. So now this ends the news segment. If you got to take off, it's Sunday, I understand. Family, friends, and church, whatever you're going to do. Great. So thanks for stopping by. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Just tell me why. I'll try to fix it and try to hit that subscribe button. That'd be great. So that concludes that. Now let's jump into 5 questions in 5 minutes and go from there. So what do we got? Banners, comments. Jungle Inc. Jungle Inc.'s here. Famous. The famous Jungle Inc. If you guys want to hear about XRP and some other things, go follow Jungle Inc. Go follow Jungle Inc. He was one of the first ones I watched. It was him and Digital Asset Investor. I forgot. Somebody else. Let's see. Nothing. Crypto is the cure for COVID. I don't know if that's true. I'm pretty sure that that wouldn't hold up in court. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. Here's a good question. Mad Max. Welcome, Mad Max. Dan, what do you think? What do you think happens? Let me lower this a bit. What do you think happens to the markets if Poland enters the war as Russian forces bomb a military base 13 miles from the Poland borders? scary times. And let's just be honest. I'm not a geopolitical expert, but I can tell you if Poland enters, I don't know if they're a member of NATO, that gets things pretty complicated. Any member of NATO that comes in, then it becomes a big world war. So do I think we're in really the question you need to ask yourself is, are we on the precipice of a World War III? That's the big question. And I don't know. Let's see. Rob, have you heard of Pegexy? Pegexy? A new play to run on Polygon Network? No, but if it's on Polygon Network, that sounds good. I like using Polygon. Although I will say there was some upgrade that just happened. I saw something in the on the Twitters, on the YouTubes, that there was an issue with the network. So hopefully that has rectified itself. We'll see how. All right. And know something says Poland is a member of NATO. Well, that's not good. And so did One Mullet. Thanks, One Mullet, for being here. Appreciate it. If you guys don't know One Mullet, that's a guy who should have a YouTube channel. Guy's got a lot of stuff, a lot of information, especially for trading. What do I use Polygon? Polygon, what I like to do is transfer everything in my MetaMask wallet and transfer my Ethereum and all the different fees I have to pay and all that trash, and put it over to the Polygon network, because everything is like pennies just like pennies per transaction. It's great. The problem is you have to switch it over from the Ethereum network to Polygon. That's the problem. Oh man. So that was number 3. What else we got? That's a great question. UFO Nut. Do you think George Carlin would have been a Bitcoiner? If you guys know George Carlin, if you're in the younger generation, he was one of the greatest comics out there. And he would use the different happenings that were going on, the social injustices of the world, and he would just make fun of it. And he was hilarious. When I was growing up as a kid, I thought he was funny. I mean, I still think he's really funny. So do I think George Carlin would have been a Bitcoiner? Absolutely. If you would have heard about, just watch any of his specials that he did. And it seemed like the guy had a special like every year, which is super hard to do as a comic, apparently. I think he would have been one, especially with his disdain for just the market in general. So yeah. And number 4. I don't know what rad tokens are, man. Sorry. Is there any crypto dating sites or only meetups? Well, let me tell you, there's not any crypto dating sites. I will tell you, if you come to a meetups, well, my channel is 90% guys. So just going to tell you that, whatever you're into, but we'll tell you that not the place to be. There's some ladies show up. That's about it. All right. Yeah, and Dougie Stone does say it. Just want to let you know, One Mullet, you are a great mod. One Mullet's a great mod, great moderator. Love it when he's here. Makes my job a little easier. And that's, I think, it. I think we have one more. I don't know what that is. Where did this go? Hold on. Spaceman. Bro, you don't even know what Digibyte is. Oh, I know what Digibyte is. 1 second. Seems like when I talk negatively about a specific project, that's when everybody gets up in arms. And I get it. I understand. I mean, no one wants to hear that their project they've invested a ton of money into is not doing so hot. I mean, I get that. I get it. But I gotta tell you, Digibyte is just not one of my... I used to hold Digibyte. And of course, I think is the creator, Tate. Let me share something. Let me share a tab. So Tate, who created Digibyte, it was a pretty good project. It still is a good project. It still could be a great cryptocurrency, but what separates it from everything else? That's my question to you. What is the value proposition that it brings? It's fast. I got a lot of cryptos that are fast. It's a currency. I got a ton of different cryptocurrencies. It's decentralized. I got a lot of decentralized cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I just don't understand where the difference is. And if we take a look, I mean, price action is just price action. Really, if you really like a project, don't worry about the price action, because at some point it'll probably perform pretty well, or hopefully perform pretty well. And I'm not saying that every superior project will win. Take a look at VHS versus Betamax as a history example. So if you take a look at like what's going on with the price action, not too great, in all honesty. I mean, we have a nice little high here, 15 cents over there. But let's see. Where are we? Total supply, 21 billion, excuse me, 21 billion, Jesus. And then max. I mean, we've had some spikes, probably do well. Will it be the dominating thing? I'm not for sure. So I don't own anything. I don't own any of it, but that's not uncommon. There's a lot of things I do not own, but I will not own Digibyte. So that's it. If you like Digibyte, stick with it. Have fun. Well, that was a long time. that was a long section just on Digibyte. Last question. Oh, that was the same question. Bro, you don't even know Digibyte. You know it's going to be a good question when you start out with bro. All right. Kevin, Rob, good stuff as always, sir. I need to follow the young, keep an eye on the innovation. Future is bright. Yeah, well, thanks. Thank God Max came by to give us a little education about the problems that are going on with the millennials right now. Because really, if you think about it, what are the options? If you're a millennial, job to job, jobs aren't paying that great. I mean, there's a lot of jobs out there, but I mean, how are like really well-paying jobs? I have no idea. I'm not in that market. But as far as what I hear, even if you do get a great job, what are you going to do? Well, you got inflation spinning out of control. You got the government printing like crazy. CPI numbers just came out. And then, of course, what else can you invest into? You can invest in property. I invested in property years ago, and it's paying off now. You can't invest in property right now. It's insanely overpriced. And then, of course, what else you got? The stock market. I mean, that's kind of some days is good, sometimes it's free fall, but then you got to deal with all the manipulations going on over there. Good luck. I mean, cryptocurrency, not that there's not any manipulation, but at least here, it's a better asymmetrical bet than what you're going to find and going like, well, just give me the S&P 500. That was interesting conversation. So, yeah. So Joe says, and I'll leave it up with this. Rob, beta was better than VHS. He lost me an example. Yeah, beta was better than the VHS. And look who won, VHS. So I'm telling you, not all the time is a superior technology the winner. Sometimes it's just happenstance. Sometimes it's great marketing. Sometimes it's the team that you build around the building or the infrastructure and the company that you have. Sometimes it's not about the product. And I'll give you another example. How many times have you walked down into a strip mall in your area going, what happened to that great restaurant? Well, it's gone. Even though the food was fantastic, they couldn't get anybody in there. That's what you have to think about. And that's how hard it is to get into crypto. And that's why I think dollar cost averaging and just buying some blue chips, that's what I do. So that's it. So look, thanks so much for sticking around. I appreciate it. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks everybody who stuck with me with the audio problems and issue with that with the interview. I'll try to clear that up next time. So consider subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.